GM and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're taking a look at Ethereum staking. So 12 months ago, September 2022, cast your minds back. That is when the merge took place. The movement from ETH as a proof of work chain to the beginning of a proof of stake chain. Fast forward 6 months into April of 2023 of this year, and we had the Shanghai fork. This is where the beacon chain, those staked ETH, could be unstaked. So a bit more freedom for individuals who wish to stake their Ethereum, safe in the knowledge they could therefore unstake. And this kicked off the ETH staking narrative. Fast forward 6 months again, and we're here today around September of 2023. And it seems like things are very quiet in the land of ETH staking, but a lot is being built in the background. So in this one, a bit of an update here, and we'll also talk about a new LSD coming to market very soon as well. So do stick along till the end if you enjoy this content. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we'll jump on in. So I think the first time I started to cover ETH staking, the actual amount of ETH stake was somewhere around 15-16%. As you can see from this June dashboard down here, 22.45% of the ETH supply is now staked, which is pretty big indeed, and shows you the size of this new narrative, and this economy is going to be a huge one. So one of the clearly identified narratives for the next bull run. This of course will have big opportunities for those who can capture large market shares. As you can see by this concerning number here, the amount staked through Lido, STETH, 32.3%. So too much centralized control there from Lido. This is definitely a concern. We do have 843,000 validators out there right now, but it would be nice to see this number come down for Lido and more decentralization of the ETH staking overall. On the right hand side, we have the flows since the Shanghai. So think of this as kind of before Christ, after Christ. Since Shanghai, 7.4 million ETH have flown in. So clearly more people becoming comfortable with staking their ETH after the Shanghai fork due to the fact they can get their ETH in and take it back out again as well. So this kind of industry is obviously a major one. If we go over to DeFi Llama here, you can see some of the numbers. It is continuing to grow, but at this moment in time, it feels like this narrative is a little bit dead. Prices are very much down for these tokens as well. And it seems like interest has dwindled in this sector. But as you can see, staking rates going up. So over the last 30 days, Lido is up 4% on its total ETH staked. That is a big move in just 1 month. Coinbase up 6%. Rocket Pool just marginally ahead of Lido, 4.83%. Binance, though, up 700% in the last month. Pretty crazy to see that figure on here. That took me a bit by surprise. Binance really entering the staked ETH race here. And if we go down, most things are a little bit neutral, but slightly up on the whole. And more on this one down here. This is the Cream ETH2 token. 25,000 of those are staked, but they're migrating over to a new LSD we'll mention in this video, MEV ETH. Now, in terms of the LSD token prices, the market cap of this industry is currently $2.5 billion only. Lido holding the largest market cap, 1.3 billion. When you put this into perspective of ETH though, so Lido has roughly 1/3 share of all of the staked ETH under its control. 26 million ETH are staked, so say they've got like 8.5 million ETH actually with themselves. The market cap of Lido versus ETH is quite a ways away. ETH is a $188 billion market cap right now. Lido is less than 100th at $1.3 billion. And they do have a majority share of this narrative, of this industry. And so I do think this will likely grow quite a lot during the bull run. It's an easy bet to be making on ETH staking as a narrative. Second place, we have Rocket Pool down here, $422 million, 21 bucks only, down from its high of around $60 earlier in the year. I would suggest a lot of these tokens like maybe went up too far too fast when the narrative was pumping, and now that they've dumped down, they almost seem now too cheap in respect to the amount of TVL they have and the growth they've seen since this narrative kicked off. Now, one thing I do want to mention down here as well, if we look at some of these smaller caps, the likes of Stakewise and Stader here, they don't always make too much sense in terms of their TVL. And I think this is due to the fact that the tokens don't necessarily have good value capture. So Stader's market cap 17.5, Stakewise is $18 million. So pretty much the same market cap there. But if you look at them in terms of the amount of staked ETH they have, Stakewise is up here, almost 100,000 staked Ether, but Stader is down here. just 22,000. So less than 1/4, but yet they have a very similar market cap. So TVL is obviously not the be all and end all. There needs to be value capture for the underlying governance token. Otherwise, it is a little bit useless. So this is why I want to talk about this token here today, which is from Manifold Finance. MEV ETH is coming, and they have their own protocol token called the Fold token, ticker Fold, FOLD, and this will have a value capture for the Fold stakers. So what they're doing is they're spinning up MEV ETH. They have already conquered their own secure RPC. So this allows for secure private connections to the likes of Flashbots, Eden Network, and others. It has been utilized by the likes of Olympus DAO and SushiSwap. And now they're going after the ETH2 validators as well. With a newly upgraded staking protocol, we provide ETH2 validators with a direct source of MEV profits. So if we just go down to the MEV here, maximal extractive value, this is going to be an infrastructure play on ETH staking. They say we provide MEV boost infrastructure under offer for their validator staking services. Combined with open MEV, we're able to offer a high-performing, low-cost, and secure solution for ETH validators. So the TLDR on this one, it is an MEV boost ETH staking token. Famously, you would have seen Jared from Subway has probably stolen some funds off you at some point, generated over $34 million in profits since it launched in February of this year, the most famous MEV bot out there. So wouldn't it be nice to have MEV capture to yourself under an ETH staking service? So this is the elevator pitch from Manifold Finance here. I'll leave this down below, but it says MEV ETH, an upcoming MEV optimized natively multi-chain liquid staking protocol. It's designed to capture MEV from sources unavailable to other liquid staking platforms, which are available to MEV ETH because Manifold operates the entire Ethereum validator stack. They've got the block builders, the relayer, and the validators, thus unlocking novel and sophisticated MEV approaches that wouldn't otherwise be possible. So they can implement their own strategies, reordering the blocks, prioritizing people, creating some value capture, bribing to reorder the blocks favorably. And this will be launched via layer 0 as well. So it will be an omni-chain LSD. So it has quite a few buzzwords in here and some cool, attractive properties, I would suggest. As mentioned earlier, the 25,000 ETH at Cream will be migrated over to MEV ETH. So this will start with 25,000 ETH TVL straight out the gates. And then the bottom sequence, a portion of revenue generated by the MEV ETH protocol will accrue to Manifold's Fold token via a new staking system. So there will be some value capture for the Fold token. So it won't be a totally useless LSD governance token. It will have value capture capability as well. So this is why it's quite interesting to me. It's something new, something novel. Thought I'd bring it to the table. I have bought some, of course, not financial advice. It was a bear market quantity purchase as well, so not a huge size, but I thought it interesting and I thought, why not take a punt on a newly developing narrative? So Mr. Stive actually posted this over on Twitter saying, look, Manifold Finance, this is an ETH validator combined with colluding block building that allows exclusive order flow. So the bigger the system, the more order flow and a flywheel that follows. Exclusive private order flow will mean higher value blocks get built. Those consistently winning block builders will then dominate, and thus this will justify exclusivity agreements, so people want to use their system, and so more exclusive private order flow should follow. So almost like MEV will help perpetuate more MEV and value capture for the system. Sounds kind of a big brain play. The docs on this one, very intriguing indeed. You need to be a gigabrain to understand them. But essentially, this will mean that if they are successful in their MEV capture, they can boost the staking rewards for their ETH. And thus it could be one of the leading places APY-wise for having your Ethereum staked. Price action on this, of course, not great as of late due to the fact everything's been going down. But this was the recent spaces where they started to say, look, we're almost near launch here. And so there were some big bids in. People were bidding up 50K blocks. Took it all the way up to $24 there. So this is kind of level 1 here, which we need to actually break above and then reclaim as a support around 17 bucks. The mid-range then will be around 33. Previously, we had a release that was due and it was failed. This was around SushiSwap, I believe, back in the early portion of the year. Managed to attain that mid-level 33 to 36 bucks, but couldn't push any higher. And thus broke down, and then the range highs are somewhere in the region of $60, $70 plus there. So if this is the main product offering coming to the table now, something that can, of course, alter the trajectory of this token, give it some real value capture, I would like to see this move at least to the mid-range in short order once this goes live. Listening into the spaces, they were hopeful they could have got it live last weekend, but it seems like maybe this weekend coming around 6-7 days, it could be lights on. So of course, to attract more TVL to your protocol, what can you do in this competitive industry? Well, of course, you have the biggest APY. So some of the benefits here are going to be potentially the MEV itself just eclipses the likes of the highest APY staking service. That is with Frax down here, Stake Frax ETH 4.42%, very healthy indeed. You can see the industry standard, the gold standard of Lido 3.5%. So people aren't incentivized to go with others that are doing less numbers, i.e. Coinbase, etc. People only using these services out of pure necessity or the fact they don't know how to utilize DeFi itself. So as long as it is above 3.5%, they're going to have a good chance here at boosting their TVL overall. But if they can get above Frax as well, above 4.42%, well, this could get a lot of eyeballs on the protocol and on MEV ETH. Highly recommend you listen into the Twitter spaces that took place. They're going to be actually incentivizing early adopters as well with fold tokens and some other undisclosed tokens as well as a form of yield with some partners that haven't been announced as yet. So in the early innings, at least, the APY is likely to be a lot higher than these others. So they're going to try and take some of the capital away from their other competitors here. But overall, what we're seeing is protocols taking on innovative new methods to actually attract TVL into their version of ETH staking and allowing people to capture value from different means. Currently, it does seem that the ETH staking market is a little bit depressed. However, looking behind some of the numbers here, you can see it is continuing to grow. So there is demand for ETH to be staked. And so I do believe it's just a matter of time before the narrative picks up another leg and starts moving yet again. I mean, why wouldn't it? It's actually growing. So we are officially 1 year post-merge, a bit of an update here from the happenings in the ETH staking narrative. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment down below. What's your favorite LSD and why? And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.